I'm going to teach you how to create a character in Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm going to talk fast, and I'm not going to make jokes, because you're here to learn, and there's nothing funny about learning. Upon your first login, you'll be shown a cutscene and then asked to choose a data center before you can create a character. Final Fantasy XIV is split into 68 servers, also known as worlds. A data center is a collection of connected worlds. The Duty Finder menu will match you up with players from all different worlds on your data center, and you can form cross-world parties within your data center. It is not possible to interact with players from another data center in any way, at least not until cross-data center travel is implemented. The data center you choose on this screen is not permanent, so don't worry about it right now. There are 8 races to choose from. 2 races are part of the Shadowbringers expansion and cannot be chosen if you are on the free trial or if you have only purchased the starter edition. Those 2 races also have some other things that make them unique. Most items worn on the head, not all, but most, cannot be displayed on those races, and they are gender locked for now, meaning that you can only create female Viera and male Hrothgar. Male Viera will be added upon release of the Endwalker expansion, and female Hrothgar will be added at a later date. Each of the races has 2 clans. The clans have different appearances, and they also limit some of your choices during character creation. The difference is most drastic between Midlander Hures and Highlander Hures, due to their difference in height and musculature. Even their animations and emotes are significantly different. Other races don't see much difference between their clans other than their eyes or their options for skin color. There are no abilities or passive traits specific to the race that you choose. The differences in starting stats have no meaningful effect on your ability to play the game as any class. They are 99.9% flavor. You're now able to change various aspects of your character. At the bottom right, you can change the background in order to see how your character will look in different lighting conditions. I won't go into great detail about all of these, as most of them are self-explanatory, other than the odd eyes checkbox that you check for heterochromia. You can explore these options for yourself, but there is one customization option that is important enough to warrant further attention. In some ways, it is the only truly important customization option. While people who spend a while getting to know your character will come to appreciate every minute detail which you chose for them, it would not be an exaggeration to say that nearly everyone who you meet only briefly in passing will take notice of this single aspect of your character, and it is this one decision upon which their immediate impression of your character rests.
La Habrea? No. No, this cannot be!
Your voice. Each race-gender combination has 12 voices to choose from. By clicking the faces along the top, you can hear what 5 different emotes sound like in that voice. And by holding Alt on your keyboard, pressing the Tab key, and opening a web browser, you can go to this playlist on YouTube made by an absolute legend of a human being, and hear what the voices actually sound like. You see, your character sometimes grunts with effort when they deliver an attack, and that grunt will be different depending on which voice you choose. For the entire duration of a 4-hour tank mount achievement party, you and your fellow grindmates will be subjected to this, or this, or this, every 10 seconds, unless you do the research and take care to pick out a voice that doesn't sound ridiculous in combat. True, the background music and combat sounds tend to drown out player voices, but some few are distinct enough to always be heard. After selecting a deity and a date of birth, which has no effect on anything within the game, it's time to choose your starting class. A brief explanation of the game's convoluted class and job system. You can freely switch between classes and play all of them on a single character. There are 8 classes which you can choose at the start. There's also a 9th class that you can't start as, but is otherwise not special. Each of these classes has a level 30 quest that gives you a stone. That stone upgrades you from a class to a job. There's no advantage to not upgrading to a job, so make sure you do it or you will stop gaining new abilities. One of the classes has 2 quests to get 2 different stones and become 2 different jobs. These 2 jobs share the same level. You can do both quests and switch freely back and forth, just like you would switch between a healer spec and DPS spec in an MMO that has multiple specs for each class. Gladiator and Marauder are the tank classes. Conjurer is the only healing class at the start, though Arcanist gains the ability to become a healer upon doing the job quest. There are more jobs that you can pick up later, and they start off already having a stone and already being called a job. You aren't required to play any specific class or job in order to qualify for one of these jobs. The city that you will start the game in, and the story you will follow for the first 15 levels, will differ depending on which starting class you choose. If you are playing with friends, don't worry if you start off in different cities. It does not take long to reach the point in the story where starting players from all 3 cities meet up. A pop-up will tell you the random world that's been chosen for you, but you can click Select Another to choose a different world. If you have friends who already play the game, that should be the largest factor to determine which world you want to play on. If you choose a different world on the same data center, you will be able to visit their world, form parties, and play together, but you cannot join a guild, which we call free companies, on another world, and you cannot get married or attend a wedding. Any worlds that are marked with a star are preferred worlds. New characters created on a preferred world enjoy a 90-day boost to the experience points that they earn. Some, or even all, of the worlds on the list may be grayed out, indicating that they are currently not accepting new characters due to congestion. This status changes every few minutes, so you can keep refreshing until your desired world is available. It's easier to create a character during non-peak hours, typically very early in the morning. If you don't get onto the server you really want, you can buy a server transfer at a later date for $18. A last-minute update to this section of the video. Due to a ridiculous number of new people starting the game or returning to the game over the past several days, free trial accounts are restricted from logging into a world that currently has a long login queue. If you are creating a character on the free trial, I would actually suggest going with whatever world is recommended, rather than trying over and over to get into your friend's world or one of the preferred worlds, at least until this period of congestion is passed. Finally, you'll be prompted to choose a name. You must have a first and last name. There is no option to have only one name. There are detailed naming conventions for each race and clan. Link in the description if you're interested. If you plan to roleplay... Not that kind. If you plan to roleplay, a lore-appropriate name is advisable. And even if you do not, you should avoid choosing a name that crosses the line in terms of good taste. People do report inappropriate names, so you may be visited by a GM if your name is scatological or sexual in nature. The level 15 quest, Beauty is Only Scalp Deep, unlocks the Aesthetician NPC. This allows you to make changes to some aspects of your character. You can also use a Fantasia potion to change many more things about your character that the Aesthetician cannot, including race and gender. Fantasia potions cost $10 on MogStation, but you will also get one for free as the reward for a level 50 main story quest. So if you would like to play as a Viera or Hrothgar, but you would also like to start on the free trial where they are not available, you can play as another race for the first 50 levels and then Fantasia into your desired race for free after you've purchased the game and expansions. Thanks for watching my guide. I hope it helped you. I'm very encouraged that people liked the first guide. Stay tuned for more.